We've got two fantastic acts. Are you ready for your first act, ladies and gentlemen? Excellent. Please start clapping. Start cheering. Welcome to the stage, the wonderful Nathan Herat.
Evening. Are we well? Good. Now, I love Cheltenham. I love the people the most. And I think this scenario that I'm going to tell you now epitomises why I love people from Cheltenham so much. Earlier on tonight, I was waiting for the bus to come to this gig, in fact. And I was just waiting there by myself. And then an elderly lady came up and she said, "Oh, what bus are you waiting for?" So I said, 42. She didn't reply. So I said 42 again, a bit louder. She didn't reply. So I pretty much shouted at her, 42! And she said, "Oh, me too. Has it been?" And I was like, well, no, it hasn't been. Surely her first clue to the fact it hadn't been is the fact I was still there at the bus stop. Like, she generally thought that I would just wait for the bus to come. Instead of boarding the bus, I would let it go and wait so I could inform her that it had been, but I had instead decided not to get on it. And I don't really have a lot of luck with people at bus stops, to be honest. I was at the bus stop the other day and I walked in on an old man having a right go because he was upset that the price of cucumbers had gone up. I'll be honest, I didn't know they'd gone up in price. I was absolutely livid about it. But I don't really like people at bus stops, like I say. But I have a stronger hatred for the City of London. Really not a fan of London. But I thought, earlier on this year, I thought, well, I'll give London another go. And so I decided I'd book a tour guide, do all the touristy things, go to Big Ben, London Eye, House of Parliament, etc. And it was 50 quid for about 3 hours, so quite reasonable, I thought. And after we'd done the sightseeing, I was just walking with the tour guide back to Victoria Coach Station to go home. And he turned to me and said, "So today you've been on the famous London buses, the tram, you've been underground, overground." And I turned to him and said, "All we need now is one blim for him, we've got a full set." Right response, Cheltenham. He didn't even crack a smile, just looked at me completely blankly. So embarrassing. But there's something I hate more than London, and that's the C word. Christmas, I mean, not the bad swear word. And the problem I have with Christmas is not the religious side. I am Christian. Are there any Christians in? I'm going to look at the people from my church to make sure that they respond to that one. That was all I invited you here, was just for that joke. So yeah, like I say, I'm a Christian, so that side is very important. But it seems to me at Christmas, atheists, or deluded as I call them, choose Christmas as an opportunity to have a dig at you. And I remember the other day, one of my friends phoned me up, and he doesn't really phone, he's more of a sort of a Facebook friend. But he phoned me up to say, "I think I've proved that God isn't real." So I thought, glad I'm sitting down for this. And I said, "Go on then, prove it to me." And he said, "He can't be real, he never does book signings." Now, in fairness, he has got me there, because God doesn't do book signings. But what a terrible way to judge someone's realism, by the fact that they do book signings. Because I doubt many of you people here have books. So by his standards, none of you are real. But one of the big problem I have with Christmas is the gifts. Now, I put a lot of effort into my gifts. My family don't put the same effort into their gifts. For instance, my nan likes teas, so I'll get her a set of teas. And she got me one year a swing ball set, not bad, without a ball. There is nothing more demoralising than playing invisible swing ball. It's got to be one of the most tragic things imaginable. Until the other day, there was a knock at my door, and I opened it, and it was a guy in a smart suit, obviously a salesman type, who was selling doors, door to door. That's quite a tragic occupation to have. So I opened the door to him. He said, "Hello mate, can I interest you in a door?" Well, no. I've just had to open a door in order to have this conversation with you. Surely that's a clue that I don't need a door. But then that painted a lovely image, I thought, of him going around all the streets and finally getting to a door without a door, just a frame. Goes to knock and falls through. And thinks, finally, I've hit the jackpot. Somebody who needs a door. And another poor example of a gift I got was I got some nail extensions. Now, I don't know how I come across to you, but I am a boy. Wasn't really sure what I was going to do with the nail extensions. I'm perfectly happy with the extent of my nails, to be honest. I mean, if anything, I think they need a bit of a retraction. And another poor present that I got was from a former best friend. Now, I know what you're thinking, that's quite a strange way to address somebody, but let me tell you, it's essential for padding out my routine. So I'll go with it. I'm a Bristol City fan. Any of them in? Probably should have asked that question in Bristol and not Cheltenham, shouldn't I? Poor decision. But yes, I'm a Bristol City fan, and he got me a Bristol Rovers calendar. Wasn't good. But another one of the worst presents, I think you can see where this set's going, was my nan got me the Whale and Dolphin song Greatest Hits CD. Now, two problems I have with this. Number two, the only group that enjoys whale and dolphin songs are whales and dolphins. But also, the biggest problem I have is the fact that the CD was called The Greatest Hits implies there were hits. At no point have I been on iTunes and seen pushing One Direction into number 2 as a group of humpback whales. Never has that been a situation. But possibly the worst present I've ever got, and I'll show you, was one that my dad gave me. Now, my only issue with this is, I'm a Bristol City fan. But I know they say it's the thought that counts. But in fairness, I don't know quite frankly what in the name of all things holy they were thinking, especially Dad. But sometimes my family do get it right. And I'll show you a present that my brother gave me just last year. It's an amazing China watering can with a little inscription on the front. And it says, "Great oaks from little acorns grow." It's quite good, quite motivation, inspires you to keep going. But you'll understand why I found it so inspirational when you realise that my brother used to refer to a certain part of my anatomy as an acorn. It got me thinking. I mean, I find great oaks a bit intimidating. I'd settle for an average-sized bonsai tree, to be honest. Cheltenham, you've been lovely. I'll see you again soon.